Hi YouTube, welcome back to Geeks 40k channel and welcome to our latest 40k battle report. Now, a couple of weeks ago myself and Robin were up at the Northwest Open, and the way that the tournament went on the Saturday, we thought we'd be fighting each other on the Sunday. It didn't happen. We didn't get to fight each other under tournament conditions. So we've decided to make it happen today. So basically we are doing ITC Scenario 1, which is Emperor's Will, with Maelstrom mission involved using the ITC Maelstrom table. So I'm taking my Ultramarines and Robin is taking his Iron Hands. Both forces were seen at the Northwest and they performed okay. We won 2 games each, but as we never got to fight each other, one of us never got bragging rights. Who's going to come out on top? HQ choice for the Ultramarines today is my Chaplain. He comes equipped with a plasma pistol and then he's pretty much stock for the normal 40k Chaplains. Over to troop choices, I am taking a 5-man tactical squad, all equipped with bolters. So these guys, their primary role will be to hold on to any objectives at the back of the battlefield, and they will lay down covering fire for the second of my tactical squads. This is a 10-man squad, all equipped with bolters. Sergeant upgraded with a power sword and a bolt pistol, and they will be riding around in a Rhino. Third and final troop choice is exactly the same loadout as the second, 10-man, all with bolters, bolt pistol and a power sword for the sergeant, and again in a Rhino. Over to fast attack, and providing superiority in the air will be my Xiphon flyer. So this comes equipped with 2 twin-linked las cannons and the Xiphon rotary missile launcher. Beautiful piece of equipment. Over to elites, I am taking
a Contemptor Dreadnought
Terminator equipped with the 2 Carious assault cannons, a 5-man Terminator squad, all equipped with their
chain
power fists. Joys of Califracti Terminator in 40k. Over to heavy support, and I am taking my Spartan. So this is the transport choice of my Terminators and my Chaplain today. Hopefully riding around the battlefield and getting into Robin's Land Raiders. With that formation, I know it can be a problem, so I need to get into combat and rip them apart. Second of the heavy support choices is a Relic Scorpius Whirlwind. So this will be sitting at the back of the battlefield, laying down lots of fire on the approaching Iron Hands as they come and try and take the objectives from me. Third and final heavy support choice is 3 Centurions, all equipped with Grav Amp, and just the normal nastiness that Centurions come with nowadays. So these guys will be walking around the battlefield and wiping the Iron Hands off the board for me. So that is my 1,850 points of Ultramarines that came to the Northwest Open. Let's go take a look at the Iron Hands.
So here is my army for today. This is the exact same list that I took to the NWO. So this is 1850 points of Iron Hands, led by a level 2 librarian, rolled on divination. So he's got prescience, he's got the 4-up invuln, I think it's 4 and he's got the ignores cover 1, so he's actually got some quite useful psychic abilities there. For my troops, I've got 3 exactly the same squads. Melter Gun in a Razorback, Melter Gun in a Razorback, Melter Gun in a Razorback. Heavy support choice, first one is 2 separate squads of Thud Guns. My second and last heavy support choice are Grav Centurions. The sergeant doesn't actually have the missiles, but he has got the omniscope. They will obviously be coming down in the drop pod with the librarian. And my formation, I have the Land Raider Spearhead. This didn't actually do that well in the NWO. The points of it are very high, 750 points of an 1850 army. Probably not the best idea, and also mobility was an issue for them. So hopefully it might do better in this battle. And to round out my army, give me a little bit of anti-air cover if he stands still, is the Contemptor Mortis with the 2 Keris assault cannons. So that is it. That is my 1850 points of Iron Hands. My Warlord trait is, I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one that allows me allows the Warlord and the unit he's in to choose whether to pass or fail a morale check. So might come in handy with them coming down in the drop pod, but we'll have to see.
Centurions and my Spartan with the Terminators are kind of in the middle on the right hand side of the battlefield and just off centre really. Heavy punch of this army is situated here. They're being supported by my Contemptor Dreadnought and one of the Rhinos with a tactical squad in. The reason that this guy is here is because my objective 2 is here behind, well, but to the side of the Rune Administratum building. So depending on what Maelstrom missions I've got, the Rhino can zoom forward and secure me that. I am aware of the gunfire that can come from the Iron Hands to take me off it. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Left hand side of my battlefield flank is a little bit sparser. I have my 5-man squad ready to take my objective, which is in my Emperor's Will. That is currently being held by my Scorpius, which can rain fire down on this battlefield. And to the side of that there is my 2nd Rhino with my other tactical squad in. Again, the reason is because my objective 1 in my Maelstrom missions is hidden away on the middle floor of this building. So nicely within range to go get me an objective. Nicely in range to go get me an objective. Nicely in range to hold this objective if the Scorpius is destroyed. Right hand side, heavy punch, heavy thump of this Ultramarines, hopefully going in and destroying the Iron Hands.
So here is my deployment. I've deployed kind of more over to the left hand side of the battlefield. Better alleyways really for me to drive through with my Land Raiders, which was a problem for me when I was in the NWO tournament. So my third guns are actually sitting on my Emperor's Will objective. I have placed my number 2 objective here in that crater. So we have a troop squad there that could easily secure that, supported by the Land Raiders. And then my number 1 objective is right in the centre of the board, in that crater again. I have the 3 Land Raiders, which should be able to just hopefully sit on that there. Then on this flank, with Richard's objectives being placed here and at the back and also in that building, I have my 2 troop squads in the Razorbacks there to rush up and contest anything that I need to there. I've actually deployed slightly back from the edge of my deployment zone. My reasoning behind that is a lot of his guns are 24-inch range, so he won't be able to get many shots on me, hopefully. Richard has first turn, and I'm planning on just letting him have it, I think. I'll have to have a think about that. I might try and seize. So yeah, that's it. So if you see Iron Hands turn 1, you'll know I've seized.
So the objectives that I rolled were 1, 3 and 6, so I discarded number 3 and I had hold objective 1, which is here in this building. So I combat squadded my tactical squads. There's 3 guys inside the building, 2 guys on the outside, 5 still in the Rhino. So currently holding objective 1 for me. Scorpius has stayed still. This squad has stayed still because objective 6 is get 3 of my scoring units in my own deployment zone with none of the enemies. So 1, 2, 3, another combated squad of tactical marines. Again, 5 guys still remaining inside the Rhino. Contemptor can't stay still at the moment. I'm going to leave him there for the moment because obviously I am expecting a drop pod with Grav Centurions to come down. Kind of want him to do some damage to them if possible. Spartan with the Terminators has moved up, just about fits inside of the building. Its las cannons looking down at the 3 Land Raiders. And finally, my Grav Centurions have moved up behind the building. I know Robin is out of range this turn, so it's just keeping these guys in a little bit of cover to hopefully weather some shots before getting into Grav range. Not much to report on the shooting front for the Ultramarines. The Spartan opened up with its 4 las cannons, hitting the middle Land Raider, only doing 1 hull point. So I managed to kind of scratch the paintwork on the front of this thing. So yeah, could have done with a little bit better on that one. However, over here, the 2 Razorbacks that are hiding behind the building, the Scorpius opened up, managed to get 3 hits on this one and 2 hits on this one, taking them both down 2 hull points, and this one is crew stunned. So that's quite a good result from 1 shot from that vehicle. Everything else is not in range.
Okay, so my objectives, I rolled a 5 and a 6. So 5 is destroy a unit, and 6 is have at least 3 of your units in your own objective, own deployment zone with none of your enemies. So those are the 2 that I went for. With that in mind, not a lot moved actually. This Razorback with a troop squad, he's just moved up 6. He's not really in line of sight or anything or range, but he could hop on that should he need to. The Contemptor has just moved up 6. He has got range on 1, maybe 2 of those Centurions should he need to. This guy was stunned, so didn't move anywhere. This guy that's about to die, he's just getting a line down to that Rhino and any troops that pop out of that, and he's just in a little bit of cover there. My drop pod came in, it scattered this way, a bit of squeaky bum time that was, but I had measured it perfectly, so it was never going to drop off the table anyway, but it's always scary when you see the arrow pointing all the way to the end of the table. So my Centurions, they have deployed. I got a 6 for a move through cover, so they are all in this little bunker, I guess you'd call it. So they are now stopping Richard from achieving his objective, which was to have 3 of his own units in his own half without any of mine. So yay, I've spoiled the party there. So that's it for my movement. Let's move on to psychic and shooting. Okay, so all of my Land Raiders had all stayed put just so I could get shots on that Land Raider. Las cannons all came in. I took off 3 hull points. I thought it only had 4 hull points, so I then decided to shoot it with the quad guns on solid shot, trying to get 1 lucky glance. They all bounced, so then I had to try and finish it off. So I scored a 6, and then Richard informed me that it actually has 5 hull points, so it's not dead, but it is nearly dead.
Spartan for the win.
Yeah, so it's quite strong. This guy over here, obviously, he wasn't in line of sight of anything. This Razorback on this side shot into that squad and took out the front guy. I shot this heavy bolter at that Rhino, and it just bounced off the front. Slightly better news though, my Centurions came down. They all shot Grav into the Scorpius, because that is quite a scary tank. I was hoping to do some split fire, but I just had to concentrate all the shots on that. It's a good job I did, because despite hitting with I think it was 14 out of the 15 shots, I did actually only get enough glances with the 6s to actually just put it out. So yeah, that was statistically quite bad for me. But that's it. Obviously no assault. I've done my it will not die rolls, so that one didn't. But fortunately the Land Raider, he did regrow a hull point. So that is it. That is on to Richard's turn.
Objectives scored for turn 1 for the Ultramarines. Because Robin's Centurions came down, he denied me the one objective. So I scored objective 1. So I am on 1 victory point at the moment. Objectives for this turn, I got hold objective 1. So yeah, they're there. The tactical squad have kind of shuffled up a little bit. Rhino stayed still. I'm not sure what to do with this one just yet, so he's going to stay there. They've shuffled up and consolidated into the building. Centurions, Robin's little suicide squad, are doing my head in my lines. So the 4 remaining tactical guys have drawn their guns up, ready to fire. So have the 5 guys in the other combat squad. The other 5 have got out of the Rhino, ready to shoot them. The Contemptor Dreadnought is ready to shoot them. The Centurions have moved around. They're within 24 inches, ready to shoot them. My Xiphon Flyer is on. My reserves have come on with a lovely line of sight down at Land Raiders. So his las cannons will be going into use there. Spartan has moved up 3 inches. It has deployed the Terminators with the Contemptor Dreadnought in mind there for combat. The Chaplain is out as well. I think it's like a 6-7 inch charge, something like that. And also then the las cannons from the Spartan looking at the Land Raiders. Oh, I could just take shots at the Contemptor Dreadnought just to try and make its day a little bit worse. So let's head over to shooting and let's see if I can kill these guys off. Which will be good because my second objective for this turn is destroy an enemy unit. So we destroy an enemy unit in mind. Everybody opened up at the Centurions and the Librarian, killing off the Devastator Centurions, which I'm quite happy about, to be honest. However, this guy's alive. He's not taken any wounds. However, there's quite a lot of guns generally pointing in his direction over there. The Centurions, actually my Centurions versus Robin's Centurions, were the thing to kill them off. They took quite a lot of shots, did quite a few wounds. Robin got lucky with a few saves, a few lookout sirs, but then the Grav Centurions just stepped up and just went, we got this, and squished them, killed them quite nicely. Xiphon Flyer opened up at the Land Raider that's all the way down here, not doing any damage whatsoever to that. A little bit annoying. The Spartan opened up with one of its bank of las cannons at the Contemptor, taking off a hull point, and the other one opened up over here, again not doing any damage. So it's going to be over to assault. Can these guys get into the Contemptor and ruin his day? So the Ultramarines Terminators managed to make it into combat. Got the 6 inches that I needed. The Contemptor hit me first, killing off 2 Terminators. I rolled 2 dice on 3 wounds, so it was an appalling roll. The Terminators then decided to smack him back with their chain fists and basically tore him apart. He exploded and I lost another Terminator in the resulting explosion. So in that round of combat I lost 3 Terminators. Brilliant, that's really helpful. But I have destroyed 2 of Robin's units in this turn. I've destroyed his Centurions and now the Contemptor Dreadnought. So overall, that wasn't a bad turn, and it scores me another victory point, and I've got his Warlord alone, stranded in my table half, surrounded by the boys in blue. So if I can kill him off, that will be slay the Warlord.
So at the end of my turn 1, I did actually manage to have 3 of my units uncontested in my own half. These guys are just out, so I did score that, so that is me up to 2 points now. My objectives for this turn, I rolled a 3 and a 4. So 3 is to have one of my units at least partially within 12 inches of the board edge, which is obviously my Warlord. So all he needs to do is just weather the storm of close combat from all of these Marines. So yeah, he's hopefully he might go Super Scion, so let's see what we get in the psychic phase. The other thing which I did roll a 1, which was the hold objective 1, which is here, which I wasn't too confident that even if I was to park a Land Raider on it this turn, it would have been a 12-inch move up there to get close, and then with the amount of grav that's pointing at it, it probably wouldn't have survived anyway. So I decided to go with 4, which was just destroy another enemy unit. Spartan's only got 1. The Librarian might mop up that squad of 4. There's some other things which I could potentially shoot at. So that is it. I've kind of just sort of turtled up in this corner, really. I'm a little bit worried about the Xiphon. I don't have any anti-flyer now that the Contemptor has been killed. My 2 Razorbacks did move up 12 inches. They're both on 1 hull point. They're both probably going to get popped, so I need to use their mobility while I've still got it. So this one is moving to contest objective 2 should I need to, and this one has moved up to pump up some shots into these guys sitting on objective 1. Hopefully I might score a couple of kills and get them to run away. There is another 5-man squad in that Rhino, but just see what damage I can do. So yeah, let's move on to my shooting. Well, that was just a bit rubbish, really. So despite the Spartan only having 1 hull point left and me having 3 Land Raiders pointing at it, they all bounced. So what I did the majority of the time is 2 las cannon shot and then power of the machine spirit to shoot at the Terminators, and as you can see, that was completely ineffective and that was completely ineffective. I'd say probably the best thing that happened in the shooting phase was this guy actually snap fired and hit him. Richard had decided to jink though, God knows why, a heavy bolter, but it worked out for him. He did actually jink it, so yeah, no damage to that, but fortunately he is jinking, so that reduces his firepower next turn. This Razorback and this Razorback both pumped shots into this squad. They were snap firing. I did score a few hits, and yeah, didn't kill anyone, so that was great. My quad mortars shot over here onto this squad. I scored, I think it was about 6 or 7 wounds. I think he's lost 1 guy there, yeah, literally 1 guy, and scattered onto my Warlord and took a wound off my own Warlord. So I've pretty much done as much damage to my own side this turn as I did to Richard's. So yeah, it's going really well for me at the moment. So lots of 1s are being rolled, which is always good fun. Psychic phase, I did manage to get prescience off on the Librarian, so hopefully he might do something in close combat, might survive, don't know. So my Librarian made it into combat. It was only a 1-inch charge anyway. He survived Overwatch, and despite having prescience on him, I only actually hit twice, did wound twice, but Richard managed to save them, and then in return he only got 1 hit on me and failed to wound. So I am just tied up in combat there. I could have done with maybe killing one of them at least, because these guys are going to run into him, which is not going to be fun. On the plus side of this turn, it will not die went off on that Razorback. So yes, I now have a 2 hull point Razorback. It's going great.
So objectives scored in the previous turn. I scored objective 1 and I scored destroy units. That was 2 victory points for me. Objectives this turn, secure objective 1 and destroy a unit. I've done quite well with my picking out of objective dice. So secure objective 1, these guys are staying still. Rhinos moved up. The 5-man squad have jumped out. There is a power sword in here and some melt bombs. Just in case this Razorback starts to annoy me, I can go in next turn really and try and pop it for all of its worth. Down here, it's a big cluster mess of boys ready to run in to... yeah, my orcs are back. No, of the blue boys in blue. Ready to mess up the librarian and hopefully take him out, get him, destroy a unit and slay the warlord. The Contenter Dreadnought has moved round. It's eyeing up the Razorback that's now got 2 hull points left after magically growing one back in the last turn. Again, hopefully getting me destroy an enemy unit. Centurions have moved round. They're within their shooting distance of this Razorback, just in case it gets me destroy a unit. Spartan and the Xiphon Flyer have both came in this general direction. Spartan is looking at this first Land Raider. The Xiphon Flyer looking at these guns because they're annoying me. And then finally the Chaplain and the 2 remaining Terminators are eyeing up one of the other Land Raiders for combat. So I'm hoping combat, dead, shooting, dead, shooting, dead, shooting, dead.
The arrogance.
I know, I'm getting arrogant. I'm doing a U, Rob. Shooting, dead, combat, dead. Yeah, that's all that's kind of left then. That would be pretty cool. Probably won't happen. The Contemptor Dreadnought was the first thing of the Ultramarines to open fire during this battle, destroying Robin's Razorback, getting me destroy unit victory point. The guys got out, they were okay. Bolters on top of the Rhino opened up, killing off the lead guy, so he is dead. So at least that's 1 victory point definitely secured. Over here, the Spartan opened up at the Land Raider, taking off 1 hull point. The Xiphon Flyer, which did jink, managed to get 1 hit this turn, killing off one of the guys who are controlling the guns. And finally, the Grav Centurions opened up at the Razorback, immobilising it. So it's going to be over to assault. We've got the Chaplain and the Terminators going in, and then obviously the boys at the back going in to Robin's Warlord. Loads and loads of hits, 4 wounds. Robin saved them all. I lost 1 guy. One of my squads ran away like a big bunch of girls. And of course, so being so close to the table edge, off they went. So there's still 2 squads in there and a power sword. Just need to do some more wounds. On better news, down here, the first of the Land Raiders has gone boom, out of hull points. The 2 Terminators with the power fist, or the chain fists, have ripped it apart. So we'll move on to the next one, and then on to the next one, or onto these guys, and then mop up this side of the board, hopefully. I'm sure Robin will probably move them now and try and shoot the hell out of them.
Right, so at the end of the full game turn, the 2 objectives that I rolled last turn were destroy an enemy unit and have a model partially 12 inches within enemy deployment zone. So that's the librarian there. So I've scored that one for that. However, the destroy an enemy unit, we'll need some confirmation on this one, but this is how we're playing it. This librarian actually killed 1 guy and forced them to flee because they lost the combat. They ran off the board, so that's technically destroy a unit. It did happen in Richard's turn, but that was the end of the full game turn. So I believe that I get the point for destroy an enemy unit, even though it was in Richard's turn. But we're not 100%, but that's the way we're playing it because we think that's right. But comments below to let us know if that is right. But anyway, moving on. For this turn, I rolled score objective 1, which my Land Raider has moved up to hold, and the other one was destroy an enemy unit. So I have a melter gun in range of that Razorback, so obviously they were the guys which jumped out of that when it blew up. I've just had to try and move away from the Terminators, so hopefully they won't destroy that. I might be able to get some shots on them, kill those last 2 Terminators hopefully. The last of the Land Raiders has moved up right in front of the Spartan, so I've got 1 shot on the Spartan and the rest of his guns are on the Centurions, which are just poking out behind that building. And the unit that was in the immobilised Razorback has got out and are securing my objective 2. Not that I've ever rolled objective 2, because I'm currently holding 2 objective 2s, but only 1 objective 1. So let's move on to psychic and shooting and see if I can roll anything but a 1 this turn. Shooting, this squad and the Razorback first of all shot into the Centurions, doing absolutely no damage to them. My 2 quad mortars also fired into the Centurions and had the biggest scatters ever. So yeah, no wounds or damage done there. This Land Raider did actually manage to finally pop the Spartan, and then did not kill any of the Centurions with the las cannon because he missed. This one tried to shoot the Spartan, clearly too far away, so it missed. Yeah, and also apparently these Terminators were too far away, because no, actually, sorry, take it back, he did hit them, but he failed to wound. So
he did really well.
Well done, you're dead next turn. Slightly better news, the melter from this didn't miss. I know, right? A melter that didn't miss, and it blew it up. First shot that he's done did some work. And then a last thing to fire was the Razorback, and he shot into this squad holding that objective and killed 1. They're still holding that objective, so far I have actually scored destroy an enemy unit. That guy is currently scoring that, but 2 chain fists, probably going to die. So that is it. In the psychic phase, I did actually get off prescience and forewarning, the one that gives you the 4-up invuln. I think that's what it's called. So we're on to combat now. Let's see if this guy can survive. Otherwise, I'm giving away Warlord and another victory point. So yeah, let's move on to combat. So at the end of my combat phase, the Librarian has done it again. He won the combat. He killed, I think it was 3 guys, and they ran. I didn't chase him down, so they ran off the board again. So he is holding his own in this little combat. Lucky little so-and-so. I've rolled It Will Not Dies. He didn't grow a wound back. This Razorback didn't grow a wound back. The Land Raider didn't grow a wound back. But the Razorback that's immobilised is, apart from the fact it's immobilised, has got all of its hull points back.
So at the start of this turn, for the objectives for last turn, I destroyed an enemy unit and I score objective 1 because there were some guys hiding out on the bottom floor. So that's another 2 victory points from the last turn. Objectives for this turn, I've got 2 destroy a unit ones. So with that in mind, the guys that were hiding around the back of the Rhino are now out. They're going to go into combat with the Razorback. It's only got 1 hull point remaining. The Contender Dreadnought's got a little bit sick and tired of watching this faffing around by the rest of the Ultramarines down here, so he's going to go into combat and try and kill off this Librarian because it will destroy a unit and slay the Warlord. With that in mind, the Centurions have moved up, looking at that squad down there, as is one of Robin's scoring units. And then finally, the Terminator and the Chaplain are now looking at the Land Raider that's on objective 1. So if I can destroy that, I can deny Robin that victory point, and my flyer has gone off the board. The Centurions opened up with literally everything. Missiles, hurricane bolters, grav guns. These guys down here, Robin took them to ground. I killed 4. This one guy's going to get flicked off the table in a minute because he literally survived everything I shot at him. He's really annoyed me. Into combat, I had to destroy 2 units. Obviously that one guy alive didn't get me that. However, the Terminators destroyed me another Land Raider. I did lose Terminator in the blast, however, again, because that's always going to happen. So I think they're eyeing up their next target. I think that's definitely job done for those guys. However, down here I destroyed the other Razorback with just fists alone, really. They just went in and thumped this thing. So that is 2 more victory points for me. Contemptor got into combat down here. Yeah, lost another guy in combat and did no wounds to this librarian. I don't know what this guy's had for breakfast, but seriously, he is tanking everything. It is getting really annoying because this is Slay the Warlord and he's in line breaker range. So I want him dead, but he's just refusing to die and he's really starting to piss me off. On a little side note, Robin totally and utterly forgot that there were some dudes inside his Razorback that just went pop. So yeah, they're out. Thanks, Rob.
So at the end of that game turn, I only managed to score 1 point for destroy unit because Richard destroyed my Land Raider there. I wasn't securing objective 1, so sad face to me. This turn, I actually rolled hold objective 2, so he's holding that objective 2, and this squad is holding that objective 2. So hopefully I might be able to actually score objective 2 now that I've got 2 units sitting on them. This unit here is eyeing up that Razorback because the other thing which I rolled was destroy a unit. So there's a melter gun there, and I'm on a high now because a melter gun actually hit over there, so come on, you can do it too. The Land Raider over here is moved up forward, hopefully might get one of those Centurions out of the way. The quad gun here can do a solid shot past the sponson, maybe kill one of them, maybe. And hopefully this quad mortar can do a solid shot into the Terminators and get rid of that threat there. If I can do that, then that could be the turning point for this battle, as long as my librarian stays alive, which is probably looking a little bit unlikely now. I think he is on borrowed time. Right, so at the end of my whole turn, because there's not that much on the table now, so these guys shot into the Centurions, as did the Land Raider, and yeah, didn't manage to kill any of those. The Land Raider rolled a 1 to wound again. He then missed the power of the Machine Spirit on... No, sorry, he didn't miss. That's why there's a Terminator dead. So yeah, he actually killed a Terminator there. The Thud guns shot over in this direction, and yeah, didn't hurt any of those Centurions. These guys didn't have anything in range or line of sight, so they're just huddling around that objective. This squad shot a melter gun, took a hull point off, didn't explode it, and then have charged into combat and taken another hull point off. And we have a drawn combat over here. I dished out 1 wound, it was saved, and likewise from Richard. So that is the end of my turn, and it is over to Richard's turn 5.
So my objectives for turn 5 are hold objective 1, which these boys in the building are still doing, and destroy an enemy unit. So with that in mind, these boys are looking at charging into this Iron Hand squad down here. We've still got this mess of combat going on down here as well. We've also got my flyer back on the board, and Robin has got score objective 2. Now these boys are sitting on objective 2, and they might cause me some trouble because they're at full squad strength. Well, no, actually they've lost 1. So my Xiphon is going to hopefully destroy them as much as humanly possible. My chaplain has scooted back, securing me line breaker. And finally, the Centurions. Now the Centurions are ignoring the Land Raider. They have turned around and they are going to try and take out both of these, taking them off objective 2. So a bit of split fire action going on down here. So if I can get rid of them, and the Xiphon Flyer can get rid of them, that'll pull Robin off both his objective 2s that he holds, which means he'd only score 1 from the previous turn. Down here, the Ultramarines Tactical Squad opened up with their bolt pistols as they ran into combat. Doing no damage, but taking no Overwatch shots. Managed to kill off 2 in combat, so we are drawn down here, but that means that I'm free to score objective 1. Over here with the Librarian, Robin managed to win the combat by 1, but we're still locked in after failing my leadership, but we were in the same initiative roll off basically, so yeah, we're still there. Down here I've pulled off the tactical guy, giggity, with the Xiphon Flyer, las cannons and Xiphon rotary missile launchers doing the damage, so he doesn't score that objective over there. Down here with the Centurions, I managed to kill off the one remaining guy, so Robin won't be scoring that objective 2 either, because that vehicle is immobilized. So for Robin, for the previous turn, he actually only gets 1 victory point and not the 2. And I have already scored destroy an enemy unit by killing him off. So we'll have to see what goes on down here to whether or not I score my second objective for holding objective 1.
My objectives I rolled this turn. I decided to go with destroy an enemy unit, and I also rolled a 3, which is basically that guy needs to stay alive again. Which he will, hopefully, or not. Yeah, Richard seems to constantly be rolling score objective 1, so he's got 5 points out of that. I haven't actually scored any of my objectives because I haven't rolled it, and when I have, there's been Terminators to kill me. So yeah, that's basically all my movement is. That Land Raider has just pivoted slightly, so he gets more shots on that, and he can also do a Power of the Machine Spirit into the Chaplain to stop him line breaking and get Warlord. That's immobilized. They obviously don't move. They're locked in combat. Everything else is locked in combat. That guy just consolidated on the other side of that wall, so he's actually holding objective 2. Not that I rolled hold objective 2, because that would have been too useful. So yeah, just on to the shooting now. So in the psychic phase, I pretty much whiffed, so I didn't get prescience off. The shooting phase, though, started well. These guys all did solid shot into the Centurion and support fire by this and the Land Raider. Killed one and put a wound on the Sergeant. The guy on the back has already got 1 wound on as well, so the Centurions are barely alive. The Sponson spun around, shot at the Chaplain and instant killed him. He failed his 4-up invuln. So that is Warlord, and Richard won't be getting Linebreaker. Combat here, I lost 2 guys, but they are still locked. Combat over here. Hey, look who's still alive. Oh, and he regrew a wound, so he is actually back to full health, and he is fighting against the Contemptor that has got 2 baguettes in his hand. So yeah, feeling quite good about that now.
And the tactical squad ran off. Yeah,
tactical squad, they ran as well. So yeah, he's scared off 3 tactical squads and hopefully might kill a Contemptor. So Warlord is an absolute boss this game. So that's it for my turn. So I've destroyed a unit so far. I destroyed a unit in the past turn as well. So I'm currently on 6 points. I'll get 7 for the destroying a unit, and then if he can survive that Contemptor, I'll score a point for being in his deployment zone. The point that I've scored pretty much every turn.
So the 2 I've generated this turn are hold objective 1 and hold objective 2. Again, I've got objective 1. It's going quite well for this, guys. These guys are obviously locked in combat. The Rhino has backed up 12, getting me my Emperor's Will objective there. Gone that far back, it's kind of like rammed into the building he was going. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. With the Emperor's Will in mind, the Centurions and the Xiphon Flyer, I kind of concentrate firepower on the thud guns down the back of the board. I'm going to try and clear them off so that Robin doesn't get the 4 victory points for Emperor's Will. Yeah, let's go over to shooting. It's all over to these guys. Centurions did their job. They destroyed one of the thud guns off that objective down there, but the Xiphon Flyer, while it did some damage, the 4-up cover save of the building saved the rest of those guys, so the other squad is perfectly fine. Down here, nothing happened. Down here, nothing happened. Yay.
Okay, so summary for this whole turn, because the only thing that moved was my last remaining Land Raider, so he just shimmied round to block line of sight from the Centurion. The Razorback, you'll notice that there's only one Centurion now. That was because the Razorback and the Land Raider shot into him, just killed the Sergeant, only doing one wound there. I did snapfire that Swanson at the Xiphon and snapfired this Thud gun using solid shot at the Xiphon, but unfortunately missed. But Richard did decide to jink, so less effective shooting there. My Librarian can't actually damage that Contemptor, so I did try and pull out of combat because I have a Warlord trait that says I can just automatically choose how to, choose to fail a morale check, but unfortunately I keep rolling 1s and Richard keeps rolling 6s, so he keeps chasing me down, so we're just continuously locked there. This little combat, yeah, nothing happened, just locked in, and that was it. So I haven't scored anything in that turn. Oh, actually, the only thing that did happen was I had a kind of a plan to purposely perils my Librarian. So I threw 6 dice at Prescience. I did perils. I was hoping to then roll a 6, so I'd go Super Scion, so then I could actually hit him, but I rolled a 1. So I passed my morale, leadership, which just meant that I took a wound with no saves allowed. So it's a good job I regrew that wound last turn, otherwise that would have been Warlord for Richard. Yeah, so that's it. That's the end of my turn. We're rolling to see if we go on to turn 7, and we do.
So the only thing that moved was the one remaining Centurion. He opened up with his Grav, blowing up the Razorback that was here. So another vehicle for Big Game Hunter. Quite happy about that one, to be honest. Down here it was drawn combat between these two squads, and then finally down here I hit, I did 1 wound. No, I didn't. I hit and I did no wounds, and then Robin decided to leave combat, and he's now there. So we're over to Robin's turn 7, the final turn in this battle. We have no idea how close this is, to be honest. We've been trying to work it out and we still don't get it. So we'll have a look at the end of Robin's turn 7.
The only possible way I think I could win this game is this Land Raider, which I've moved down here, needs to shoot the Rhino, which is holding his Emperor's Will objective. I am just in range, like literally just the tip of the las cannon is just in range, so I've got 2 las cannon shots at it. Nothing else that can hurt that Rhino is in range. I currently have Line Breaker, I've got Slay the Warlord, and I've got Big Game Hunter because that vehicle is the most expensive vehicle on the board. So I've got the tertiary. The secondary we're not sure, we've got to tot up first. So it could be down just the primary, which is the Emperor's Will. So I'm scoring that at the moment. Richard is currently holding his Emperor's Will. So I just need that guy to shoot the Rhino. So here we go, guys. That's it. It's the end of the battle. After all the shots have been fired, the las cannons came flying through the windows of that building, impacted on the side of the Rhino, but he managed to pass his cover saves. So it is still alive and it is holding the Emperor's Will objective. So we're going to go away now and work out the points. It's close. It is very, very close. Neither of us know who has won this one.
So then, guys, victory points, as Robin said, He has scored Slay the Warlord, he has scored Linebreaker, and he has scored Big Game Hunter, because the Spartan is the most expensive vehicle on the table. So that's 3-0 because I don't score any of them. Emperor's Will is worth 4 victory points if you are the winner, 2 if you're tied. So this is Robin's Emperor's Will here. My Emperor's Will is all the way back here with the Rhino one. So we are drawn. So that is 2 victory points each. So that makes it 5-2 to Robin. And then on the Maelstrom missions, whoever gets the most points gets 4 victory points. And we've totted them up, and Robin has ended on 9 and I have ended on 10. So overall, in an ITC environment, it will make it 6 victory points to the Ultramarines and 5 victory points to the Iron Hands. So it's a win. It's a win for the Ultramarines. It was close. There was a lot of death and carnage. There isn't really much left on the board, which is what normally happens when the Geeks have a battle. But in the ITC Geek Off between me and Robin, it was a win for the Ultramarines. Now, normally I only play for fun, and I don't like to gloat, but screw you, Robin. I hope you enjoyed that, guys, because that was actually really, really good fun. That was quite actually nail-biting towards the end, because we didn't know who scored what and who was going to win that right up to the very end, and it went 7 turns in the end. I think Robin was unlucky on his turn 6. He could have done with scoring a couple of victory points, but he didn't score any because of the dice rolls that he got. So yeah, leave us a comment. It'd be great to hear your feedback. Leave us a like. It really does help out the channel. And if you haven't done so already, why not subscribe? And we will see you guys on the next one.